The Aquamarine Paint program is built using the Pixelator open source editor to investigate novel user interfaces for a script model selective undo mechanism. The editor supports regular painting operations like using the brush and painting shapes. Other painting operations like the paint bucket can also be used to modify the pixels. The history panel on the right shows the operations as the user performs them. Each entry in the history panel shows a count and the name of the operation. There is also a thumbnail image zoomed in on what the operation did, along with a little context around that part of the picture. As the user moves the cursor up and down in the history, the preview at the top of the history panel shows what the whole picture looked like at that point. The conventional linear undo, which is called step forwards and backwards in Photoshop, is always available to undo and redo the recent operations. Selective undo means that the user does not need to only undo from the last operation, but can skip around and select which operations to individually undo. We created two versions of the history panel to explore how people would want to see and perform selective undo. In this version, the user selects an operation to be undone, which is shown in blue. Then, the user can invoke Selective Undo command, which adds the selective undo operation to the end of the history, referencing the number of the undone operation, and graying out that item to show it is undone. Also note that if the user selectively undoes an operation, so that it is no longer in effect, then the thumbnails below that point update to show what the picture looks like now, with that operation skipped. The user can redo this operation three different ways: by using the regular undo Ctrl-Z command to undo the selective undo, by selecting the undo operation and selectively undoing it, or selecting the original operation and invoking the selective redo command. Note that the user can selectively redo any operation, no matter whether it was undone using selective undo or the regular undo. The other versions of the history has a check mark with each item in the history, and the user can selectively undo or redo an operation by toggling the check mark, and the operation is again grayed out when it has been undone. Selective undo and redo operations are not put in the history in this version, but just modify the operations directly. Also, regular undo cannot be used to undo the selective undo or redo. Regular undo just moves up from the bottom of the history. In our user study, participants seem to prefer this version since it's simpler to understand and control. Aquamarine implements a script model for undo, which means that it runs through all the operations in order, skipping those that are undone. This simple concept results in some surprising outcomes. For example, a paint bucket operation at a location where an object used to be will fill the background when that object creation was selectively undone so that the object is not there. In the usability evaluation, no one expected this behavior, but understood it after they experimented a little bit. To help users understand these conflicts, Aquamarine highlights in orange the other operations that conflict with the selected operation, so the user can disable them as well if desired. For copy and paste, we decided to use a deep copy so that the copied and pasted picture is not affected by undo. Thus, if the original object is changed due to undo, the pasted copies do not change. This is the way copy and paste works in other programs like Microsoft Word. To find what area was affected by an operation, users can look at the thumbnails, toggle the selective undo of that operation and see what changes, or they can use a command to find the specific region of the picture that the command affected. Alternatively, users can select a region of the screen and ask what commands have affected that area, which our participants reported would be a really useful feature in general.